He's trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just takes a little minute to adjust and adapt.
Floyd Mayweather recently stopped by Shakur Stevenson's training camp as Stevenson prepares for his matchup with Teofimo Lopez. During the visit, Mayweather spoke highly of Shakur, labeling him the top fighter in his division, and committed to passing along his experience to help sharpen his technique, elevate his performance, and continue pushing his career to the next level.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want. And make the
Shakur Stevenson has been fully locked in during camp as he prepares for his bout with Teofimo Lopez. Giving attention to every detail of his skill set, he's working relentlessly on movement, quickness, and defense, while also tightening his combinations and overall ring approach. Every workout is designed to push him further, improving both his reactions and stamina. The level of focus and discipline on display makes it clear that Shakur is completely dedicated to delivering a dominant performance on fight night.
Yeah, on my way. Did you sleep yet? Da-da-da-da-da. And if you know, if you wake up, da-da-da. You know, they think with
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like, I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just takes a little minute to adjust and adapt. And I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be
During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur Stevenson spoke confidently about his upcoming matchup with Teofimo Lopez and addressed his critics head-on. He stated that Lopez has never shared the ring with someone operating at his level and believes he'll present challenges Lopez hasn't experienced before. Shakur also weighed in on how Lopez would fare against top-tier fighters like Terence Crawford, suggesting Lopez would likely be physically outmatched while still acknowledging his abilities. In addition, Stevenson touched on the business side of the fight, explaining that although he had previously considered leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's involvement has provided strong structure and support for the bout, underscoring how seriously he's approaching both his preparation and career decisions.
That's their opinion. Like, you know, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not going to say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems like. I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager.
Analysts say the key issue in this fight is movement. Teofimo Lopez is explosive and powerful, but he struggles against fighters who move constantly and force adjustments. Shocker. Stevenson's footwork, timing, and distance control could frustrate Lopez, limit his clean shots, and set up precise counters. The general view is that Lopez's athleticism alone won't be enough. If he can't stay patient and adjust, Stevenson is likely to control the fight and dictate the pace.
Very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like, Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably something.
Another view highlights that Lopez performs best against top-tier opponents, as his full skill set, reflexes, timing, and ring IQ is tested. This fight isn't just about power, it's a mental and tactical challenge. Lopez can rise to the occasion only if he stays disciplined, controls aggression, and avoids patterns Stevenson can exploit. Stevenson's speed adds another edge. His punches arrive faster than most can react to, making even small shots impactful. That combination of precision and velocity lets him control exchanges, disrupt Lopez's timing, and capitalize on mistakes, giving Stevenson a tactical advantage.
Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring, but I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". These are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. but around the same size is the most important thing. The difference though with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark, standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could...
Shakur Stevenson stands out for his accountability in the ring, approaching every fight and training session with strict discipline. He takes full responsibility for each movement, adjustment, and decision, preparing both physically and mentally to execute his plan under pressure. This focus helps him constantly refine skills, correct errors, and adapt mid-fight, building both technique and confidence. The result is a fighter who is strategically sharp and consistently ready to perform at the highest level. Still, analysts warn that Lopez's power and explosiveness should not be underestimated.
And I gotta tell everybody that Whichcomb is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all that. Nah, Teofimo can punch and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So you know what I mean? That'll make it a little difficult right there. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? How you see that fight ending?
Well, they saying, they've got the weight and all that. I see Shakur box big guys, light heavyweights and all that stuff. Just like moves, he box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up, and I think he can really do good at that weight.
This isn't a stoppage.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all according how Teo come in. If Teo come at him, he's gonna run into some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming.
That's it.
That power is speed.
Right.
So could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. Not them guys, muscle-bound guys come in and they talking about, he can punch and all that. Like I just got finished saying, like you just got finished saying, matter of fact, the punch that you don't see knocks him out. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you worry about. I mean, then you got to look at...
Rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur is at. I think this is a great fight. I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's going to be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm going to say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's going to happen is going to become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm going to go with Shakur on this one. But you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war. And I think Shakur, he's starting to, get fights that are kind of setting him.
Bradley points out that Lopez's unpredictability and confidence make him dangerous. Even against a disciplined and technically skilled fighter like Stevenson, his natural power and willingness to take risks mean that one defensive lapse from Stevenson could quickly shift the fight's momentum. Lopez's mental state also plays a key role past distractions, lapses in motivation. Personal pressures have sometimes hurt his focus and consistency. However, recent reports suggest he's reconnected with his passion for boxing. And if he fully commits mentally, he can perform at his peak. Any lingering distractions, though, could be costly against an opponent as sharp and precise as Stevenson.
Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? What can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. Young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound that you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth that it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he going.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.